Well, hey folks, it is your friendly neighborhood Fist-25 here, and we are going to go over, I don't know if I want to say it's a mess, but CIG just released the brand new Super Hornet Mk2 and the Heartseeker Mk2, which is kind of a mess the way it's all set up. They are no longer actual, like, their own ships. They are variants of the Hornet class or something similar. I mean, they're their own ship. They're not a variant anymore. It's complicated. So what I want to do in this video is go ahead and take a look at the old Heartseeker and Super Hornet and then compare it a little bit to the new Mk2 Super Hornet and Heartseeker, which is different with the upgrade kit. So yeah, we'll do it the best we can. Roll the intro. All right, the intro is over. Let's go into my hangar here and let's take a look at the old Mk1 Super Hornet. One of, I'm kind of an Anvil fanboy. Anvil's my favorite ship manufacturer. Drake being a pretty close second. Hashtag release the Kraken. And one of the first videos I ever did on this YouTube channel was to go over the entire Hornet series. And, you know, in real life, back in the day, I worked on F-18 Hornets, and so I have kind of an affinity towards the Hornet series, and it's kind of become my favorite medium fighter throughout my history with Star Citizen. So, you know, I already have a review video on the Super Hornet and the Heartseeker, so if you want more in-depth info, of course it's out of date, but the general feel layout of the ship is the same, right? This right here is the basic F7C-M Super Hornet from Anvil Aerospace. Let's go over some of the stuff on the ship. First off, it's a two-person ship. It could also be solo. You have the pilot up here on the left side, and right in back of the pilot is the what we normally call a RIO, radar intercept officer, but it really, you're just a gunner. And you know, now that you actually have co-pilot things you can do, you can manage power and shields and stuff like that. Back in the old days we couldn't do that, but it is a little bit bigger of a ship. I've always been real weird with this, what should be an intake, but it's not, even though it says intake. I guess it's a hydrogen intake, but it's always been a little weird for me how gigantic it is. Yeah, I mean, it's got that classic, iconic Hornet design, the really cool kind of horizontal / vertical diagonal stabilizers in the back with this this cross stanchion here that connects the two fins together, and the single engine, which is not Hornet-like, it's very F-16 Viper-like, but regardless of that, super cool engine in the back here. Yeah, it's an interesting ship, to say the least. Let's talk about its armaments. On the nose turret, which it does come by default with a nose turret, unlike the regular F7C Mk1, the Super Hornet Mk1 comes with two size 1 CF-117 Bulldogs, so there's some laser guns there. On the wings, and this is a very symmetrical ship here, so on the wings we have a Mantis GT220, which is a size 3 ballistic repeater. The holds right around 2,100 rounds, and I think you can fire it for close to 10 seconds before it overheats. So pretty good on those size 3s. On the ball turret up top, which is slave to the pilot up here, when the pilot is solo, it has two size 2 CF227 Badger laser repeaters. Now, when the pilot's in the remote turret, I don't know if you can do that in the Mark 1, but at least when the co-pilot, the backseater, is in the remote turret, they can move that turret around. So it can fire at targets behind them and above them and things like that. But you do have that control as the pilot to use it, stuff like that. Which is good. We don't have that on a lot of ships, and I'm glad that this ship has it. It also has this weird little secondary wing. It's kind of like a forward canard. Interesting on that. It does have pretty iconic maneuvering thrusters. Like right here, this thruster, it'll actually move up and down as the ship moves, and so it's kind of a neat animation. As far as the systems are concerned, this guy has 2 size 1 shields, 1 size 1 power plant, and 2 size 1 coolers. And these are all military grade components, military grade C. So a ship that by default you get military grade components, and it comes with a EOS. All the Hornets come with an EOS civilian grade C quantum drive. This particular Hornet does have missiles. It has 2 size 3 missile racks, and they each hold 4 size 1 Marksman 1 infrared missiles. Those can be swapped out. Obviously, they're not bespoke. You can upgrade the missile launcher size to have 2 size 2s or 1 size 3 each. But it is, I mean, this is a dogfighter. It's made to dogfight. I'm actually not even going to get in this ship. I just brought it out to show you guys. I'm going to go bring out, after this long run and this gigantic hangar, I'm going to bring out the Heartseeker model. Because for the Mark 1s, it is its own model. Where you have, it's kind of like the old Cutlass Black Best of Show. You have the Cutty Black, and then you have the Cutty Black Best of Show when it won Besting Show. They're 2 separate ships, right? You can have both at the same time. And it's the same thing here. I have a Super Hornet Mark 1, and I have a Super Hornet Mark 1 Heartseeker. That's not the case with the Mark II, and we're going to go over that in a minute when we bring out the Mark II. But let me go ahead and I'll cut to the Heartseeker. All right, so here we are back with the F7CM Mark I Hornet Heartseeker, which is the Heartseeker variant of the Super Hornet. And back in the day, you could, and really, I think still, you can only buy the Heartseeker variant during basically Valentine's Day in-game. It's called Core More. As you can see, there are some differences with this ship, not just in the paint scheme. The big thing with the paint scheme is that it has these kind of metallic red accents versus the flat red, and it has the Be My Valentine. I didn't mean to do that. The Be My Valentine chick in the space bubble with a heart and some hearts up here for kills. Kind of goes back to a World War II pinups on planes. But it actually does have different armaments, believe it or not. The Heartseeker on the nose down here has the exact same thing as the regular Super Hornet. It has 2 size 1 CF-117 Bulldog laser repeaters. It has on the wings the same thing. The Mantis GT-220 size 3 ballistic Gatling guns, but on the nose turret, instead of having 2 size 2 lasers, it has a single size 4 M6A laser cannon, which is kind of an odd choice, to be quite honest, because of the different firing rates. All 3 of these guns have fairly different fire rates, so you're going to have pips kind of all over the place. But the nice thing about this, it is a 2-seater, right? There's a co-pilot that can be in the back, and they can use that larger size 4 gun to shoot things like behind you, if that makes sense. Yeah. So that's with the specialty Veripuck size 5 turret that is up on the top, right? Versus the normal Super Hornet, which has a C4 160 Foxtrot ball turret, and it is specific to that Super Hornet. So there are actually other differences as well to the ship. Aesthetically and statistically, they are 99.9% identical. There's some differences when it comes to mass, of course, with the weapons and things like that, but stats wise, speed boost, maneuverability, things like that, they're completely the same. But there are some systems differences. For instance, on the Heartseeker model, this model here, it has 2 military grade B force wall shields, size 1, where the regular Super Hornet had a military grade C all-stop shields. The power plant on the Heartseeker is an overdrive military grade C. On the regular Super Hornet, it is a Regulus military grade C. The coolers are polar military grade B on the Heartseeker, and they were bracer military grade C on the regular Super Hornet. They both have an EOS quantum drive. The missiles are also different. On the Heartseeker, you have an upgrade from size 1 missiles to carrying 4 size 2 Rattler infrared missiles, which are the cluster missiles. When you shoot one, they break off into clusters. So different armament halfway and different components, better components. So you're paying more for not just a paint job, you're paying more for better system components and different weapons, if that makes sense. So that's the Heartseeker. We're actually going to take this ship out because it flies the same as the Super Hornet. I'd rather take the Heartseeker out probably for its last ride, because I have an upgrade sitting in my account for the F7CM Mark II, and the Heartseeker is now upgrade kit on the Mark II. Basically, you just change out components versus a completely different ship, which I guess it has pluses and minuses to that. What I'm not seeing is to get into the gunner seat as its own button. So I'm going to hold down F, and real quickly I'm going to go into the co-pilot ladder. We're going to go ahead and hop into the co-pilot seat here. And just to give a perspective here on the Mark 1, we'll go ahead and power on. It has a hand on the stick, but I don't. It's kind of weird. I don't know if you can actually fly. I don't think you can. We'll have to try it in space or something. As you can see, we do have access to all the ship's MFDs. Right, we can do different stuff. We can manage power and things like that from the back seat here, but I can't turn on engines. So all I was able to do was turn on power. As far as the remote turret is concerned, it's been a long time since I flew back seat. It does have an ejection handle. Long time since I flew back seat of a Super Hornet, so I'm not quite sure where the enter the remote turret thing is. The button is, if there's even a button anymore, because I'm not seeing anything light up. So maybe they didn't do like a pass, because this ship's kind of been broken for a while. So I do have a manual keybind set up, and I can't get into the remote turret, so that's too bad. We'll go ahead and hop out of this seat. I would hope that it works on the Mark II, since that's the new hotness. Then we'll go ahead and use the pilot ladder and enter the ship. Okay. All right, so from the pilot seat, hitting flight ready does nothing apparently. Is the ship still broken? I mean, what's going on? Weird how settings are set up. Okay. Bunch of stuff going on there. My knee is in the way of the screen here, but I can still move it, so I can click through my knee. Yeah, it looks like all of our power is actually fully used on this ship, with full power to coolers, and shields have more power than guns, so that's interesting. Let me... I can't fly anymore without doing a couple things like magnifying symbology and things like that, and putting the enhanced HUD on the screen. So there we go. I still didn't see a enter remote turret button. Just really open the ladder. No, I don't see anything like that. And my keybind doesn't work either, so we'll go ahead and request takeoff, and we'll go ahead and take lift off from this ship. As you can see, the thrusters, how they're moving around. It's just something I like about this ship. We'll go ahead and retract the landing gear. That front nose landing gear, the panel never opened, but you see the wings, they did spread out. So that's nice to see. I'm gonna go ahead and take off in the Heartseeker Mark 1 as we're flying out of Morrison. It is a pretty maneuverable fighter in that medium fighter class. Our guns right now, we are showing... Oh, I don't... So I better not hop out of the cockpit because I forgot to put my helmet on. I don't know how many shots of guns we have. Because I don't have that display without my helmet on. So I don't think I can just put my helmet on in the cockpit. No, that ain't working. So we'll have to deal without it. That's kind of funny. I take it off so I can film the video, and I just forgot to put it back on. All right, our rat out's saying we're nearing 10,000. Looks like we're at SCM speed, about 210. And
shields offline.
I will switch to quantum mode, and we'll just take it out into space a little bit, fly it around, try some stuff. Okay, we're out here at Seraphim Station, and we're just cruising along. We're going to see how fast we can get this Heartseeker to go, the Super Hornet Mk1 to go. Looks like we're maxing out somewhere around 1141.
Shields online.
And of course, when we're in SCM mode, we're going to be significantly slower at 218 meters a second. But the ship actually feels really good. It feels good to fly. It's not like as nimble as like an Arrow, of course, or a Gladius, but it does feel pretty nimble, especially because I've been flying Constellations a lot lately. For the main guns here, let me move my guns. I can't tell what guns I'm firing. Okay. That is my left Gatling. There we go. Now I have guns. For some reason, my right Mantis doesn't want to fire. That's my M6A. My Bulldog's on my nose, and then if we hit all guns, everything fires except my right Mantis. So, for some reason, that's broke. Interesting. Okay, it is what it is. I will try to shut down the ship.
All systems offline.
I can't get out of the seat. So I could try to do the old IT trick and turn it off, turn it back on. And it still didn't fix it, so it is broken. Regardless of that, it still feels pretty good. And it still, for the most part, looks pretty good. Even though you can barely see the heart shape. You can see me without a helmet on, but you can barely see with the light the heart and the sticker. And we picked up a mission. Hopefully it's fairly easy.
Shields offline.
And I'll hit you guys back up again when we're at the mission location. We're just trying a little light ship combat. Well, folks, as typical with the 4.0 patch line, this mission is broken. I showed up to protect the ship, which is a constellation, and there's nobody attacking it. I don't know if this is some weird interaction delay or what, but I did just check the board and I didn't see any other space combat missions or missions where I'd have to work on killing other ships. So I'll check one last time, but I was hoping to do some space dogfighting here, but it looks like it's just not working out. We'll check the board one more time. Looks like there may be a VLRT at Daymar. I can't tell if this MRT is against ships or if I have to go inside somewhere, which is not the point of a ship review. I can't really tell on this VLRT either, but we'll take it, we'll track it, and we'll head to Daymar to see if that makes a difference. Stay tuned. So we're here on the dark side of Daymar. Hopefully this is ship combat, I hope. I threw on MBG mode through Reshade. If you're wondering what that is, I have videos on Reshade. You guys are free to watch that video and use the MBG modes or the enhanced vision modes. I'll actually go to this mode because it's more RGB.
Shields online.
Getting within 10K. Oh, I gotta. Okay. Scan for a target. But I do have a bogey. I'm gonna go into missile mode, even though I don't have a cast for my helmet. Oh, there's Linus. That's our mission right there. Go ahead and shoot some. We'll shoot some rattlers at it. Hopefully that had an effect.
Target destroyed.
Hey, it did have an effect. All right. So we'll try to get this guy with actual weapons. You see how the pips are so far off? Hey, I managed to get my other gun to work, my other Gatling gun.
Proximity alert.
And he blew up. And we got pretty close to the surface of Daymar. And now it still shows me as tracking this mission over here with the asteroid surrounding Jawa. But I don't see any more bad guys. That felt pretty good. You saw I killed 2 ships fairly quickly. I'll head over to this mission to see if this guy needs help still. She may. So stand by for that, and then we're going to go check out the new Mk2s. I came back to this guy, and there's still nobody attacking the constellation, so busted mission. He's looking good. I'm gonna break off and head back to Horizon. Let's go check out and see what the Super Hornet Mk2 and the Mk2 Heartseeker look like. Stand by. All right, folks, let's check out the new hotness, the newest ship in the Star Citizen repertoire, the Anvil F7CM Super Hornet Mk2. As you can tell, significant differences, right? First off, it sits higher already. The artwork in these lines on here, much cleaner. It doesn't have the big CM marking on the front anymore, which I kind of miss. I kind of wish it had that. The intakes are just like the rest of the Hornet Mk2s. They're tucked in closer to the fuselage. They're a little more square, a little more angular. They still say danger intake though. Overall, though, I mean, it's pretty close to the same ship we had. As far as the exterior is concerned, it still has these diagonal, vertical, horizontal struts, along with a stanchion connecting them. It still has the single engine in the back, tricycle landing gear. It is still symmetrical. This Super Hornet has that flat red, or like a matte red paint. I would imagine that's some kind of an antenna. It still has the secondary, like, kind of wing up here, right here, that comes out when the landing gear comes up. Overall, it's a better looking ship. There are a lot of differences in between the Mark 1 and the Mark 2. There's a lot of differences just between this model and what the upgrade kit is for the Super Hornet. I don't know how to say this more clear. This Super Hornet Mark II is the Heartseeker. It's the same ship, right? Like the marking for the ship, it's going to be the same ship. The Heartseeker, when we apply it, is going to be a paint, and it's going to change that ball turret, and it's going to change the weapons on the ball turret. Other than that, it's exactly the same. It'll have everything else is going to be the same. So the weapons on the ball turret and the paint job will change, and that's really about it. So on the nose, the Mark 1 had 2 size 1 laser repeaters. The Mark II has 2 size 3 laser repeaters. That is a huge upgrade on laser repeaters on the nose. Much more formidable right there. On the wings, the Mark 1 had 2 size 3 Gatling guns. This ship has 2 size 4 Revenant Gatling guns, right? So more firepower, but still about 10 seconds of continuous fire, but they will inflict more damage. Apocalypse Arms Revenant. Probably my favorite over the A4DB, AD4B, whatever the other one is. I like it. I like the Revenant a lot. Now, the ball turret on the base model of the Super Hornet. This is kind of weird, but let me get a better angle so you can see it better. There's 2 guns on there. 2 size 3 CF337 Panther laser repeaters. What was on the old Super Hornet was 2 size 2 Bagger laser repeaters, and on the Heartseeker was a single size 4 M6A. What's on here now is 2 size 3s, and as part of this F7CM Mark II ball turret, I don't see a number for it, which is swappable. There are 8 size 1 missiles in there. Those are Spark cross-section size 1 missiles. But you're going to be able to fire missiles from this, and you're going to be able to have guns on this turret. So, interesting loadout on this ship. Really interesting loadout on this ship. And again, it's 2-person, right? You have a pilot and a co-pilot. So first off, let's go ahead and use the co-pilot ladder and get into the co-pilot seat. A lot more detail in the cockpit already. It's lit better. Things actually kind of appear to work. Let's see if I can hit flight ready. I hit flight ready from the co-pilot seat. That started the engine. And look, I can fly. I can fly from the co-pilot seat in the ship, and I am indeed in the co-pilot seat. I can move. Oh yeah, I can fully fly this ship from the co-pilot seat, as you should be able to. Honestly, it's a co-pilot. So CIG, the Mark 1 is still broken. Please fix it. I mean, people are still going to keep the Mark 1 if a collector value, right? So automatically that's better. Let's see what else. Oh, I put my helmet on, so we do have a cast up here. Apologize for that before. We have more lights, way more lights going on in here. We have a power button. I have my little guy in here, my little bobblehead. enter remote turret button. Imagine that. I have full 2 MFDs back here, an ejection, open ladder as a button, my throttle lever, and I think that's really it for a cockpit tour. For power output, for some reason weapons aren't on, or maybe they are. No, they were not online. So this ship system-wise is different than the Mark 1. We talked about weapons. The Mark 2 has 3 military grade C size 1 shields. They are all stops, which is the same thing that's on the stock Mark 1 Super Hornet. The old Super Hornet, the Mark 1, had 2 size 1 shields. This ship has 3 size 1 shields, so it's tankier. It has 1 size 2 power plant, so a bigger power plant, and it needs it because it has to feed bigger guns. It has 2 size 1 military grade C coolers. Those are bracers. I forgot to mention the power plant is a Maelstrom military grade C, and the same quantum drive, an EOS. So as far as power output goes, we're filling our coolers, we're filling everything we need to. Shields, because they're military, you can do them 1 tick at a time. Right now, with default power, we have 36 shots on our lasers. 1 tick up, we're going to get 54 shots on our lasers, and maximum, we're going to get 71 shots on our lasers. That's pretty significant because we only lose a little bit of boost, and we still have shields up there. So rebalancing it out, I can add at least 1 to have 0 power left over and get me to 54 shots on my lasers. So all in all, good changes here. Good changes here. I'm gonna go ahead and enter the remote turret. Where was that button? Engine, there it is. So now I am in the remote turret. As you can see, I was facing forward. Now I'm facing aft. I don't know why guns all and the other guns are different, but you can't hear them right now, but I'm shooting the laser in the hangar with the turret. So good view. It doesn't go all the way up, but it gets pretty good. It's about maybe 60 degrees or so. So your co-pilot can shoot behind you, and that's always good. Go ahead. Oh, it does not center when I hit C. Nope, it doesn't center. Oop, I'll go ahead and exit that turret, and now if I hit my keybind, I still enter the turret if I hit the keybind. So that's the co-pilot seat. You can fly from here. That's a lot of good stuff. Let's go ahead and exit the co-pilot seat. Okay, some other differences between the Mark 1 and the Mark 2 is when it comes to ship stats. They are actually fairly similar, but the Mark 1 has a little bit faster SCM speed, boost speed, forwards and backwards, and a higher maximum navigational speed. It's also more maneuverable. It has a few more degrees of pitch, yaw, and roll than the Mark II. The Mark II is physically bigger. The dimensions, well, in some aspects. No, actually, I'm sorry. I take that back. It is physically smaller. Yeah, it's physically smaller by about a meter in each direction, X, Y, and Z. The hit points is about the same. The Mark 1, 15,450, 15,250 in the Mark II. Mark II carries 96 decoys. Mark 1 carried 48. The Mark 1 has more hydrogen fuel, and they have the same amount of quantum fuel. The claim time is also a little bit longer and more expensive on the Mark II. The stealth capabilities, the outputs, the Mark II has more emissions. More IR, significantly more EM, and even though it's a smaller ship, it has a bigger cross-section for some reason. So just keep that in mind. Statistics-wise, the Mark 1 is faster, more maneuverable, smaller cross-section, but the Mark II has way more firepower. Two size 4 guns, 4 size 3 repeaters and a bunch of missiles. I didn't even mention the stock missiles that come with this ship. We mentioned the 8 size 1 Sparks that are part of the Super Hornet turret, but it also comes with 8 Ignite 2s as part of its overall loadout. Whereas the Mark 1 had 4 Rattler 2s. So double the missile capacity. And the missile racks on the Mark 2 are bigger. They're size 4 racks versus size 3 racks on the Mark 1. I don't know if I can. I guess I got to turn it off to turn it back on. There we go. Turning it back on. Now I'm in the pilot seat. And funny thing is, my little bobblehead, he's not even here. He's in the back seat. That's kind of funny. But from the pilot seat, we have an enter remote turret button. Same thing as the back seat. So that's good. We can, if you want to fly in a straight line and use your remote turret, you can do that. We have a power off button, an engine on button, the remote turret, open ladder. So it's really the exact same setup with an ejection handle and then 2 MFDs. So 2 less MFDs. And what do you know? A radar we can't read. So a brand new ship with another radar that is too hard to see because it's not tilted at the right angle. It's too flat with our view. So yeah, you can kind of see what's going on, but it needs to be bigger and it needs to be up in the window and it needs to be tilted at an angle so I can see what's going on. This is the 100th time CIG has done this, and it's very frustrating. Or I can't fly apparently. So now I can't fly from the pilot seat. I don't know what's going on. I'm hitting lift and I'm not getting any lift. Okay. So I don't know if the co-pilot and the pilot seat are swapped or what's going on, but I'm hitting spacebar. Yeah, you can see when I hit shift, the boost kicks in, but I am not actually getting any lift. And so I can't actually, oh, there we go. Now it wants to fly. Wow. And I should not have cruise control on. So I don't know what's going on with this ship, but I'm just gonna hold X. Wow, that was strange. I didn't have cruise control on to my knowledge, so maybe more input delay here in the hangar. As we raise up this landing gear, you can see the wings will sweep forward. There we go. We have our Super Hornet. Firing guns one at a time. I can do the Revenants, then I can choose the Panthers, and then I can fire all. Okay, I think that's enough fun with the base Super Hornet. I'm gonna go ahead and land this thing, and we're going to hop into our vehicle configuration page once the ship stores. And we're going to put all the Heartseeker stuff on here. So let me go store the ship, and I will pull up my Mobi-Glass, and we will check out what it takes to basically do the upgrade kit for the Heartseeker. Okay, hopefully the ship actually stored correctly, and let's go ahead and bring it up. Okay, the Super Hornet Mark II, which is funny because I have this in my inventory and I have not applied the upgrade on my account yet. So I don't know why I have this ship, if CIG's letting us test it, or if I'm special. I don't know. But as you can see up here on the screen, we have our vehicle loadout manager for the Super Hornet Mark II. And we have in the module section, we have a bunch of different ball turrets we can deploy. We have the 160F size 5 Hornet ball turret. The one that's on there, which is the F7CM Mark II ball turret. The 173F size 5 Hornet Mark II. This one is the Mark II F7A turret. The one above it, the 160F, I believe is the F7A Mark 1 ball turret, or maybe it's, I think so. I don't remember. I wish they just had the name on there instead of the number. They're all in use because they're all on different Hornets. And then you have the specialty Hornet size 5 Veribuck mount, which is the base Super Hornet mount. I'm sorry, the base Heartseeker mount, I believe. Then you have the upgrade pack to the Heartseeker. This is the Tango Mike TM Sierra Bravo SB TM SB. Don't know what it stands for. 5 ball turret, meaning it's size 5. This is the upgrade path. So let's go ahead and we're going to equip that. Okay. Also with the Heartseeker upgrade, you have the Heartseeker livery, right? So it's a special livery just for the Heartseeker. We will equip that. Comes with an Explorer quantum jump drive. The systems all remain the same. 3 size wing shields, EOS quantum drive, Maelstrom power plant, 2 bracer coolers. Under the vehicle weapons, this stuff stayed the same as far as the Ignite 2 missiles. The nose turret stayed the same. The Revenant Gatling stayed the same. And I don't see anything under the TM SB5 ball turret. But there's supposed to be 2 bespoke to this turret Gatling guns, if that makes sense. Under utility, there's nothing miscellaneous. All I have is the ball turret here and the dashboard, which I already have my bobblehead on there. Let me hop over to a different Hornet, load that up, and then I will come back to the Mark II and make sure there's no weapons that showed up. Yep. So what I'm hoping for is the weapons actually show up. We're going to go find out. Let me call the Super Hornet back up. Okay, that is the same marker as the ship was before, the Dash CL. This ship is supposed to have, with its new turret and its new paint, we should have the new Heartseeker paint. And we should have, on the TM SB5, a Gatling gun that is bespoke to this ball turret. It's a ballistic Gatling gun. It has about 10 seconds of continuous fire, and they are size 4 Gatlings that are on here. With 3,500 ammo, so more ammo than the Revenants. So let's run over to our ship. And it looks like it did install it. Looks like the guns do come with the ball turret. And those are big guns. I like it. As you can see, the brand new paint for the Heartseeker. The hearts have been moved. The paint's a little more fresh. It's the same logo though. Be My Valentine and the girl in the space bubble. The metallic red accents here instead of the flat red. And this is our new turret up here. So gone are the 8 size 1 missiles that were on it before. And now here's the magazines right next to it. And these are the 2 size 4 Gatling guns that come with this guy. So without further ado, let's get inside our new Super Hornet. This is a weird ship review. I'm not used to doing ship reviews like this. Okay, let's see if I can actually fly from the pilot seat. Let's first take a look at the new gun here. That is interesting. I don't dislike it. It's pretty neat. I don't know if I have much else to say about it. Hey, I can fly. What do you know? From here, I can go to the Panthers, the Revenants, or the TM5B Gatling. There's that. Let me get a shot of that Gatling going off. There you go. And I should be able to go remote turrets. And Gatling can shoot with the, whoa, losing frames there. Not sure why. Yep, the Gatling, it's got a nice animation. So, yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. The Gatling does slave back to the pilot when you leave. So let's get out of here. Wait for my hangar to open up. And in the meantime, I'll see if I can grab a mission and we can get out of this hangar. All right, flying out of Orison at night. Well, I guess it's morning. Ship looks good. Afterburner looks good. Afterburner sounds good. Maneuverability, honestly, feels about the same. Going to nav mode. And I ended up taking the same mission that I took before. Definitely don't want to hit into Nettie Seagoon, who's probably trying to come into land. And I ended up taking the same mission as before, but it's a different ship that needs help. So we'll see if there's some bad guys that show up there, and we can actually put the now Super Hornet Heartseeker Mark II through its paces. So stand by. Okay, we actually have bad guys here, so that's good. Make sure. Oh, I didn't realize he was that close. He tagged me too. Ooh, I like the sound of that Gatling. Ship feels very similar to the Super Hornet. Almost blacked out there. The 3 pips are just not a big fan of. But took out that target pretty easily. I mean, he's dead now. Where is my protection target guy? Cameron Bay. Maybe there was only one bad guy trying to take him out. I'm not sure. Contract failed. Okay. Okay, well, we got some ship-to-ship combat in space. Oh, there's another bad guy, so I guess we're getting more. I guess it's a call to arms type of day. Let's see if we can nail him with a missile. Oh, gosh. He got me. Did he get me with a missile? What happened there? Okay. I think I'm too close to missiles. Okay, shoot the missile out. I think my flares actually took out that missile like right at the last second. You know, it's an eclipse that I'm fighting and I know the shape, but I still think there's a problem that we don't know what we're fighting by name on our radar. And that's a problem that should have never happened when they went to the new MFDs and these new systems. I'm holding down on that trigger key. Man, I didn't feel like anything was happening to him. His shields are down. Maneuverability feels pretty good. I couldn't even tell that my shields were being hit. I feel like this eclipse should be dead. Oh, there we go. So I overheated. How the eclipse is still flying, I don't know.
Target destroyed.
All right, he's gone now. He didn't have any wings left, and now he's blown up. So, you know, these ships have innate resistances to... Oh, something else is firing at me. The ships have innate resistances to ballistics until we get the armor system in, so... It kind of is what it is. Who is shooting at me? Ah. Where is this target? Ah, there you are. Is that a Talon? I think it is a Talon. My Talons are pretty maneuverable, but that guy went down way faster than the Eclipse. Way faster. I'm not sure why. Things move a little quick in the combat. I wish the mission wouldn't have failed. Well, there we go. There is the Super Hornet Heartseeker, who I guess is taking a little bit of damage. Maybe that's from that missile shot. Interesting. Okay. Let's fly back to Orison and wrap up the video. Stand by. All right, folks. So, what are the recommendations? By the way, I forgot to mention, if you get the Heartseeker upgrade kits, you get this fun outfit to go with it. A Koromor inspired armor set, which is kind of nice to have, even though if you die with it on, you're probably going to lose it and never be able to get it back until one day CIG decides to let us get items back without a character reset or a long-term resistance reset. Let me go ahead and store that helmet. Hey, if you didn't know you can do that, hit left alt and H, as long as you have space to do that. I don't have anything on my belt or anything like that, so I can do it. Okay. The Super Hornet Mark II, the Super Hornet Roundup, if you will. Is it worth the upgrade? Yes, 100% it is worth the upgrade. The ship has more shields, it's tankier, right? It's a little bit slower and it's a little bit less maneuverable, but we're talking a few numbers here. Overall, it's got way more firepower. The nose turrets, the ball turret, the missiles, stock, the ship has way more firepower. It is worth the CCU upgrade cost, meaning I upgraded from my Heartseeker to the new Super Hornet for, I think it was $20. And then for $20, I bought the Heartseeker upgrade kit, which is the paint and that new Gatling turret up there, and it included this armor. Yeah, it's $40, which is the price of a starter ship now, but this falls in line with the rest of the Mark II Hornets. It's a much better ship. It's much more up to date. It's worth the upgrade. I would only keep the Mark I if you have nostalgic or collector value on it. If you have another ship that isn't out yet, like a Liberator, or even if you have a ship that is out, like a Polaris, you're going to have a Super Hornet as a loaner anyway, which is what I'm assuming why I have a Mark II Super Hornet without applying my upgrade yet. So that may be why. I don't know, but overall, it's worth the upgrade. The firepower alone, it's worth it. So if you can afford it, I would highly recommend that you upgrade. Other than that, I don't have much else to say about this ship. If you want to see other Mark II review videos, check out my channel, go into the Anvil playlist section, and you'll see those reviews. I like this new model, the Mark II, way more than I like the Mark I. And I like that the Heartseeker graphic is still there, even though it's cheesy. So, for the B team, I am Fist-25. Thank you for stopping by and watching this probably incredibly too long video, and we'll see you next time. Good night, Stanton.